All right, joining me now, we welcome back to the show, friend, Senator Steve Daines of the great state of Montana. Senator Daines, welcome. You know, Senator, we could wait for all the intel agencies to finally come together. Maybe someday we'll have definitive proof, but I will think what I think. You will think what you think. Others who disagree with us will think what they think. But I'm just saying, I was there at the time in 2020 inside the White House. Trump slapping travel restrictions on China. Trump slapping travel restrictions on Europe. China never slapped travel restrictions on, or if they did, they waited far too long. And this thing spread like wildfire from China to Italy, Milan, Italy, and then right into New York and the rest of the United States. You'll never convince me otherwise, Senator Daines. And if you disagree, I respect the disagreement. But that is my view.
Well, Larry, I was listening to your comments before we went on the air with you. You're exactly right in terms of the censorship that was going on with social media as well as our federal government when there were some on Capitol Hill, if you remember, we're talking about this was a viable theory as to why the COVID virus started in Wuhan and that it might have been a lab leak. Look, you can't believe anything the communist dictators in China are saying. Remember, we just came off the Chinese spy balloon fiasco. They call that a weather balloon. So why should we be believing the propaganda coming out of Beijing regarding the COVID virus? I think it is probable, now looking at these public intel reports, that it did come out of that lab. And I've asked, I was the first, in fact, member now to insist upon getting this information. I'm going to go into the SCIF. I want to read the reports firsthand and see what DOE's got at the moment. And I'll make a judgment myself. But if you remember, Senator Cotton was out there publicly when this first came out a few years ago. He was belittled. It reminds me of what communist Chinese did during the Cultural Revolution. They would belittle those who had contrary opinions. And at the end of the day, I think the Chinese were complicit in trying to cover up whatever happened there in Wuhan. And I think the lab leak is very much a viable theory. And I want to see the intel myself and get to the bottom of it.
I don't think, Senator Daines, that people know or understand the link between China and Milan, Italy, and that this was discovered later. 300,000 plus Chinese workers in the Italian fashion industry, which is up north in and around the great city of Milan. And the Italians and the European Union did not have the backbone to slap travel restrictions on China. China is their biggest importer, by the way, and the Chinese wouldn't put any travel restrictions. So you have China, Milan, New York City, rest of U.S. There's a story here that needs to be investigated rigorously, and it never has been. Maybe this Energy Department thing will move it along. Maybe, our guys, Jim Jordan and company, can make investigations in the House. Maybe we'll find out more. But that's a link. And I think the Chinese weaponized this whole story. And I know some people will disagree, and I always respect disagreements, but that remains to be my view. Now, Senator Daines, you happen to be from the great state of Montana. The reason it's a great state is my wife is from Montana, and we were married in Montana. Now, you know all this. You've heard this before. I want to know what happened to the balloon story. Like, what has the United States government, the Biden administration, done about China's balloon, which they should have shot down over Alaska and then Montana and someplace else? I haven't heard a thing about that in a couple of weeks. What is going on here? And what consequences are we pushing on the Chinese for having pulled this stunt?
Well, Larry, first of all, you married well and you got married well with your Montana connections. Let me just start with that. You're smarter than you look, Larry. I love it. That's great. But let's go back to that Chinese spy balloon fiasco. Remember, that balloon came over the Aleutian Islands, comes over Canada, and then comes into Montana. We are very proud of our intercontinental ballistic missiles, the 341st Missile Wing in Great Falls, Montana, Mousam Air Force Base. We have weapons of mass destruction. And Ronald Reagan talked about peace through strength. Those missiles keep the world safe. They are a tremendous deterrence. In fact, the motto from the 341st Missile Wing is scaring the hell out of America's enemies since 1962. We're proud of the power that we have there in Montana. That balloon went right over Montana, right over those missiles. It should have been shot down over the Aleutians. We could have taken that balloon down fine over Montana. We were told they were afraid, the Biden administration, it might hit somebody in Montana. Larry, I can tell you something. We'd have had great opportunities there to take that balloon down. The biggest risk would have been hitting maybe a prairie dog, maybe an antelope, maybe a mule deer somewhere, maybe a cow.
I said this to Wicker and a whole bunch of other people. There ain't nobody in Montana, for heaven's sakes. Metaphorically speaking, of course, metaphorically. But just, some Montana sharpshooter could have done it. But maybe more to the point, Senator Daines, what is the United States government, what is the Biden administration doing with respect to China? I mean, I've seen no consequences. I've seen no serious reprisals. I've speculated that if Donald Trump were president, he'd have slapped $100 billion in new tariffs on China for pulling a stunt like that. Again, metaphorically speaking, what's going on here? It's like it's off the front page and they're not doing anything.
Right. Remember something about this, Larry. Had the Biden administration had their way, this balloon would have made its way across the United States undetected. Remember, it was a Billings, Montana resident from the Billings Gazette, a photographer there at the local newspaper, that made the confirmation shot. He literally took his telephoto lens and took a picture of that spy balloon because they saw it up in the sky because they closed down airspace. They shut down the Billings airport. They were delaying United and Delta flights in and out of Billings. Larry happens to be a pilot as well. He flies a Cessna 172. He is the one who first got the picture, sent it to NORAD, and that's what busted the story wide open. Had he not done that, it may indeed have come all the way across the United States like a Taylor Swift concert tour across America and exited. That's why the Biden administration isn't saying anything more about that balloon. They never wanted to talk about it when it was in our airspace, and they didn't want to talk about it after it was shot down. They are more afraid of China in terms of their opinion of the Biden administration versus protecting this country. That is the main issue. They were trying to protect Blinken's trip to Beijing. That's why they tried to keep this thing quiet, if you remember what's going on that week.
No, they give them a pass. They're always intimidated. You're exactly right. Senator Daines, last one for you. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. This is kind of an amazing story, though. The Bidens vehemently denied up and down the line that they were going to stop gas-burning stoves. And then you have pointed out, and I'm looking at the Fox Digital article here, Senator Daines sends a letter to the Department of Energy. Listen, their new regulations, the Energy Department's newest regulations, would ban up to 96% of the gas-powered stoves currently available in America. This is, what, a week after they said they weren't going to ban them, and it turns out that energy is going to ban it? What is up with this? I mean, this is their own little Chernobyl problem they got going here in terms of cover-up.
Well, Larry, this is just another example of the green hallucination that the Democrats are trying to impose on America. We called them out on this. And by the way, since that was written, they have come back to us and now have said, well, it's actually about 50%. At least they're admitting 50%. They want to ban them all, but they publicly said now it's 50%. Can you imagine banning 50% of the gas stoves in the United States? This is crazy talk. And this is dangerous because energy security is national security. Larry, I've been watching what's going on in Europe here over the course of the last 10 to 15 years. When you have these nuts who under this green umbrella are trying to drive a no or zero fossil fuel type of agenda, it's very, very dangerous. Look what Germany did in shutting down coal plants and then nuclear plants. You look at the country of Lithuania, they just shut down their nuclear plant as a condition to get into the EU back in 2004. Lithuania went from being a net energy exporter now to an energy importer. So anytime the greenies have control and politicians start yielding to the whims of the radical green movement, terrible things happen as it relates to energy.
Senator, can you stop this? Can you stop this crazy regulation? I mean, this is just, central planning, command and control, big government. Can you stop this thing?
We're going to do everything we can to stop it. The best thing we can do right now is just to expose it to the American people. I mean, this is literally, these are adults in the Department of Energy who are proposing this ban. I mean, these are things that you see that should be in the Babylon Bee as satire. No, this is real right now on Capitol Hill. So our goal here first to expose the American people. I can tell you, Larry, those good folks back in Montana are going to say, what? The federal government wants to ban my gas stove. This is crazy talk, and we must continue to expose that, how radical the agenda is. This is a religion, Larry. If we don't understand the fact this is like a religious movement for the greenies in the White House at the moment, we're underestimating their passion and their sincerity, but they're sincerely wrong.
All right. Senator Steve Daines, great state of Montana. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it very, very much. All right, folks.